Well, this is our list. They started with lots, and they're now down to the top 10. 2 Australians, and the rest to look out for. China, obviously, with some competitors. Who stands out apart from your personal interest?
Sarah Grant's definitely on fire. I think the Australian girls are paddling really well, though. Sarah had a good semi. She's built through the weekend. Jess is obviously paddling really, really well lately. I think Lee Liu is one to watch for. She got a silver medal at the under-23 Worlds in Penrith, sort of out of nowhere. I think she's ranked 103rd.
Yeah.
So she's well outside the top 10, but she's obviously performing well inside the top 10.
And of course, Emily Fair from France, Olympic gold medalist on this course. But it's a quality field as we see URSA KRAGELJ just coming out of the starting block.
25 years old. Very solid. 2 years ago, she was actually the overall winner of the World Cup Series. Let's see what she does today.
Yeah, she's had a few injury issues in the last couple of years, URSA, but she looks like she's back on form and great start to the season here, making the final very smooth through that top section.
Well, a couple of weeks ago in the ranking tournament in Tachon, she actually won the event there, so she is on form.
Yeah, so she's got some good form.
Yeah, so far so good through that top section. It's quite tricky. You've got to use the water to bounce around and get through those gates, and she's done that well. She's stayed nice and dry, which is always a hard thing to do here in London, is to stay on top of all those stoppers and breaking waves, but URSA seems on form, and she's done that really well across there. That's a crux move today, and we'll see lots of girls, if they can pin that section, they'll be up on the split and hopefully up on the podium at the end, and URSA's done that well.
It's such a physical course, London. You've got so many stoppers the whole way down, just decelerating the boat, so you've always got to be on it, keeping the boat nice and dry and light as she comes into this next big move, gate 14-15, keeping the boat dry, a little bit slow and dropping into the hole, and you see getting pushed down below gate 15.
Yeah, that's another crux move for today to watch for if you're at home watching this online. 14-15 as they go what's called the oval here. There's a big stopper, they've got to get on top of that, so that's one to watch for.
Coming down, Ben Nevis, this is a big drop. Bows under, very attacking line there by URSA. Great flat boat, and that's a brilliant cross into tricky last up left gate.
And now she heads off towards the finish. There's a little touch there. Let's see what the judges call on that. This last stagger is actually really tricky. The water's not going where you want to go.
They've given her a 50. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. The judges have been very hard and fast on their penalties this weekend, so we'll see the end result with that. But at this stage, URSA KRAGELJ's got a time of 160, which includes a 50-second penalty.
So she's certainly not going to win the competition if that holds. So just as a reference point, Jess Fox was clear with 109. So it's actually pretty close if you take off the 50.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty solid run on all those sections, those really tough sections on Big Ben, the first big drop, then through the oval, and then the last double up. URSA did really well, so that's a competitive time without that 50.
Next one, Karina Kleij from Austria. If she's on fire, she wins. If she's not, she doesn't.
Oh, if she's on fire, she dominates.
So, dual world champion, 2010, 2011. She really is a powerhouse, and you can see her just driving through those first couple of gates, keeping the boat nice and dry.
See in the background there, it's a bit windy up on that top section, but she's managed it well through the gates that are moving around.
Just keeping it in the middle, herself in the middle of the gate, so taking out any risk at the top here. I think that'll be a bit of a tactic from a lot of the paddlers today in order to avoid any issues at the top. She's one second up on the split, so a little bit faster than URSA so far.
Well, she's got some revenge to take on this Olympic course. I know it's not the same layout, but she really messed it up badly in the Olympic final, taking a 50-second penalty and coming down 8th in the family.
Yeah, I'm sure she's got a point to prove today about coming back from that result, and so far she's paddling pretty well. She was good through that first Big Ben drop on the cross there, and she's paddling well, keeping the boat speed up, which is really important here. You'll see a lot of the girls not paddling so hard, but if you're looking at the boat and the boat's moving well, that's what you're after. Great
move there on that back of the stopper from 14 to 15. Very tricky move, but she used the stopper to surf up into gate 15.
Well up on the split.
Yeah, 3.45 up on the split. So let's see if she can have a good execution down here on this tough move. And if so, she will probably go well into the lead here.
Yeah, just decided to go bows around into, but we've got a big mistake here, which could cost her. Yep, and there's a touch. But also, not only the penalty, big time loss there for Karina. So, and another touch, I think, on gate 21.
So down here you've got the lactic acid burning. It's really hard to stay composed and stay dry, and I think that pinch at the bottom has really hurt Karina on that run. But a 1:11 plus 4 seconds of penalty, that's a really competitive time.
Really quick raw time, isn't it? So
well, it's quicker than any of the girls went in the semi-finals. But what we found from yesterday was that there was no single gate where they were all having penalties on, but there were 21 was causing quite a few people out, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's quite a tough little flush gate down there, down the ends, and you know, at the end of the run you are pretty tired. The gates are kind of a bit offset the wrong way for what you'd expect for a flush gate, and so you'll probably see a lot of mistakes, just little mistakes, which will add up or down the bottom of the run.
Stepanka Herutova, you could talk to her about 3 hours. I think she's the only competitor that's competed in all 6 Olympic Games, winning 2 of them. Obviously stacks of other qualities and medals to her name, but let's see how she goes.
Yeah, an incredible effort. So Stepanka just keeping the boat really dry. She's always got this really nice light style, crisp paddling all the way down the course, very precise paddler.
That's a textbook start there from Stepanka. She's managed to stay on top of all of those stoppers at the top and use them to her advantage to bounce from side to side. And we'll see what this split is, but I think she'll be well in touch.
Slightly down, but we saw Karina had a lightning start.
Yeah, so Karina really putting the pace down on the top, but you can just see how light she keeps the boat through that top section. But
there's a nasty penalty there.
We'll have to wait for the judge's call on gate 10 there.
They've given her a 50, but there is a chance to appeal.
She had such a good line there, but chose to do really almost too much pre-turn there. She works her way down to the tricky gate 14-15 move. So she can contest that. So she's still going to finish this run off. I'm sure she won't know that she's been given a 50.
I suspect with the sound, the loudness of the commentators, she will know.
Yeah, the boys out there on the commentary, they've been great over the weekend. Etienne Stott and Tim Bailey, the Olympic gold medalists from London. They've been taking the live commentary, and there are, if any of you know Etienne Stott, he's been on fire for the last few days.
I think my ears are still ringing from when I was paddling down. I could hear him the whole way.
And it looks like it's getting a bit ragged here for Stepanka. She's picked up a few more penalties on the way to the finish. Down in this bottom section, it's really tough, and we'll see, well, hopefully not a lot of the girls having trouble down here, but it's obviously down at the bottom of the run on this such a physical course is where it's a lot of times going to be won or lost.
Well, even hypothetically, if the 50 did come off, she'd still be out of touch.
Yeah, so just those penalties really hurting Stepanka there. And it is such a physical course here in London, so get to that bottom section and your arms are just jelly.
She came 4th in the London Olympics, but as we say, she's pretty much proved it all with her husband and son and what a great family.
Next on the start is Jana Děcková. She's obviously a household name in our sport, and she's had a really great weekend so far. She built through the qualifications to win the second run of quals. She's made the final, and we'll see what she can throw down now with her smooth and gentle style.
New boat called the Swan, so she's paddles in that kind of fashion, long, elegant strokes.
Yeah, Jana's the kind of person that if you watch the boat will be moving really quickly, but her paddle doesn't turn over all that fast at all. She's got a really delicate style where she tracks and goes exactly where she wants with minimal effort.
Again, maybe something to prove, because finally she made the actual selection place for the 2012 Olympics, knocking out Kaliska, who'd won the last 2 Olympics, but then she only came 6th, so perhaps something to prove.
Yeah, it's obviously pretty tough to beat Kaliska, and here we've seen she was in touch on the split, but this tough section here she's got pushed down low, so that's obviously a big time penalty there, and we'll see if she can, stay in touch and bring it back towards the finish.
Yeah, really tricky stopper move there. You've got to get across as far as you can left before the big bend drop there, and then get some good speed back to the right to make it into the up. She moves down at a tricky 14-15 move. Again, she's trapped a little bit sideways, losing a bit of time here, but she's paddling hard to work her way back. Great up, so she's good recovery there.
It's a really tough section, that one, and looks like she's dealt with it well to get high into that gate.
So far, 4.5 seconds down, but still she has time to make it up in the last section.
Yeah, this section's worth a lot down here. You'll see some of the girls going from last to first just on this section, and Jana's done that really well. Straight into the up, nice flat boat across the hole there.
Well, she's made the time back up on Karina, who's so far leading with a gross time of 111.
She's having some issues here, having to back off. Now that's going to make this next gate very tricky, but she's done a great job to adapt
well
quickly there.
It's going to be close.
And away to the finish.
It's going to be just.
I think she'll be
Really
just
stout.
outside.
It's going to be just outside, yeah.
So 1.82 down, ranked second. So Karina looking very happy there in the leader's seat.
But there's an example of how important that bottom section is. She was 4-point-something seconds down just on that last split there, and then she's only finished 1 second outside. So
even with a big mistake on gate 20 on the exit of the up left. So there's still more time to gain down on that bottom section.
Emilie Fair, she seems to slip under the media radar, which I think pleases her, apart from in France, but she's the Olympic champion and she's the world champion from France.
yeah, she's probably the best on-form paddler in the last 2 years for the ladies kayak, and you know, she's dominated most big races. She's a classic performer, and she'll hopefully get up there on the podium today. She's a great paddler and a great example of a gracious winner, I think.
And she last week in Vienna in the Europeans came third. The winner of Miss Funk, Ricardo Funk, actually didn't make it through, unfortunately.
And it looks like here she's got a penalty on the top section.
Yeah, didn't see anything, but maybe a very slight touch. Oh,
there's a
just
touch
drifting
there.
wide into gate 8 there.
Well, they gave the first touch on gate 5.
Gate 5.
Very uncharacteristic, and you see there just having to pull the boat down in the eddy, which isn't fast, so she's losing time sliding around the place. Normally Emilie driving the boat and tracking it, which is where she generates so much speed, and another touch.
It's really tricky on this course. You've got lots of currents going everywhere, pushing you around after each and every stopper, and it looks like Emilie's just not quite in touch with that water, and she's into the poles rather than being in the middle of the gate, which is her classic style. So
6 seconds of penalties.
Yeah, quite uncharacteristic here from Emilie. So she's going to need an absolute blinder down this bottom section.
yeah, 8 seconds off here. So that's with 6 seconds of penalty. So she's only 2 seconds down. If she can have a really good bottom section, we've seen how important that is.
Well, so far the bronze position is at 160 seconds. But
Good
obviously
cross
we've got
there. I
another
thought
5 to
maybe
go.
she put down a little bit too much edge, but she recovered well. And that's the best exit we've seen so far.
Oh,
and just as I say that.
That's going to give the judges something to look at there, I think. It's a really tricky flush gate, goes the wrong way, but at this stage they've given a clean, so it looks like she got her head inside there. And she should go into...
Well, provisionally she must be into 3rd place. We still have an appeal going out on the 50 for Stepanka HILGERTOVA.
Yeah, I think they might be looking at this gate here. So you have to get the whole head and part of the boat inside the gate. So we don't have the best angle there to see that. But I'm sure the judges will have a better view of that.
Yeah, this is where our judges come in really handy. We've got 3 judges on each gate, and they're positioned on different sides of the river, so we get multiple angles covered. So I'm sure they'll have that decision pending.
I just need to make an announcement. You do have to declare an interest in this, but you can be impartial.
No, I'm going to try and remain not so nervous as Sarah goes down.
This is your fiancée.
It is, yep. Getting married in November, so still got a few months to go. I think Sarah's over most of the planning. Hopefully she's over most of this run too. It's a good start, nice and dry. She's in touch with the water, which is really good. She paddles well when she's nice and composed, and so far, apart from a little wet there, she looks like she's got that mentality going into this run.
Great up there. You see how she just carried the speed all the way through. Boat didn't stop at all. So Sarah's been working with our group, with the C1s, and she's learned a lot from us. So
there we go. She's 1.85, so she's well in touch here on this run.
So if she wins, it's because of you.
Exactly.
Oh, and that's a great upstream, but a touch on the outside pole. Looks like she lost grip of her paddle as well, which isn't ideal, but she stays in the moment, stays in touch. There's a lot to go on this course.
Yeah, exactly. It's real give and take, this course. You can make a big mistake, but still there's plenty of time to recover. So she's been working hard with Coach Nick Smith, who of course coached Tim and Etienne to gold here in London, and Sarah as well as just finished. So we'll go on to time, 6 seconds outside. But she's a psych student and doing very well at that, so she knows how to control things.
Here we go, nice flat boat across here. That's what's going to make a good cross. Just a little caught up there. But for Sarah, you know, it's a great start to the season for all of the Australian team. We're looking to post good results in Deep Creek, so the emphasis has been on having, you know, a good preparation to these races with a focus on Deep Creek, the Worlds in September. And for Sarah, she's had a great build-up. You know, she built through the qualifications, built through her semi-final, and here with a touch and a little few errors. Obviously, it's not where she'd want to be in 1:19, but, you know, she's got to be proud of herself this weekend.
Yeah, great start to the season, Sarah.
Well, so far she has a hypothetical podium place, but probably not going to stick at it.
Yeah, she's in bronze at the moment, so we'll see what the other girls can do. We've seen, you know, so far in this final, there's been a few errors, so, you know, it's all up for grabs there. Sarah could get a bronze, or she could end up further down, but she should be proud of what she's done.
Well, 46 girls started off at the beginning of the week. Yasmin Schornberg, she is a world champion from 2009, consistently recently be on the podium and last year's World Cup. Let's see how she goes.
Yeah, nice solid start so far from Jasmine. She's kept the boat moving there.
And
Really
in Vienna last weekend,
helmet.
she came 4th. So.
She's got stickers or pictures of herself on the helmet all over it, so obviously very, very special to her. But you can see she's just very tight around that inside pole there in gate 7.
I think that's a good top section. Yeah, she's well in touch. She's only 0.37 down, which is, you know, minuscule on this course. It's
but she's dropped low here, and it's going to be a big journey back up to the top of the eddy.
Yeah, it's such a tough move, that one. We saw a lot of the women have trouble in it in their semi-final. Obviously, those who pinned it made it through to the final, and that's not great execution from Jasmine. But the water's so variable that it's, you know, she's done the best with what she's been given, I think.
So she's really driving it down here, that German style. Pick up a touch in the middle section.
That's pretty nice across the back of the oval there. That was really good. She managed to get on top, keep the boat nice and flat, and she sprinted straight into the upstream. So that's almost a perfect move there for Jasmine.
But she's very much paying for the error before.
But 6 seconds down, I'm really surprised. So Karina, great middle section, obviously. Jasmine in, out. A little bit of a bobble, and she's fighting to get into the eddy, but that's pretty good, actually. So she kept the boat moving all the way into the eddy, didn't have to slide around too much.
And off down through this final flush. You can see from the camera angle there, there's not much room to wiggle in and through, but she's done that really well.
Time to go for a 1:11, as you can see on the screen.
I think she'll be outside that, but
yeah, if you weigh up her error on that first big bend drop, though, that's a really impressive time.
Made it up to just 4.5 seconds down. She knows that she's left out some regrets on the course.
so made up some time on that bottom section, though. So
she moves into hypothetical 3rd position. So after 7 competitors of 10, we have Karina KUHNLE in the 1st spot for Austria, Jana Děcková, Slovakia in 2nd, and Yasmin Schornberg for Germany up in 3rd position at the moment. We have 3 top athletes, however, to go.
Yeah, Karina's time obviously very impressive with the 4 seconds of penalty still in the lead. But here we have Kateřina Kudejová from the Czech Republic. She's part of a very strong training group with Yuri Prišković, the recent European champion in the men's kayak. And Kateřina herself has posted some great results in the past, and I'm sure she's keen to get on the podium again today.
Well, in the under 23, she won the Worlds.
Oh, they're right on form then.
saw a bit of fireworks up the top there through the waves, getting thrown around a little bit, but she's keeping the boat nice and quiet now through this middle section, coming down onto this first split here.
Still in touch.
Yeah, she's well within it. Here we go, dropping down. She sets the boat up and bounces, and not
Bit of
too.
a slide.
It's really tricky there. If you give it too much upstream edge, obviously you'll capsize, which you don't want to do. Too much downstream edge, as we saw there, and you just wash away. So it's a really fine line to hold the boat nice and flat. But we've seen Jasmine, you know, she had that same similar error, and she brought it right back. So we'll see if Kateřina can do the same.
Yeah, we saw Peter Kauser unfortunately come to grief on that 9-10 move. But here comes Kateřina down here. Great cross, 14-15. That was lightning, so she's in and out.
And we'll check
back
the
on
split
track.
here. If she's within 5, she's probably within touch, 6.92. So she's going to need a great finish on the power all the way, and she might be able to peg this back. She's gone bows around on there. That's a really safe option to make sure that you don't come up and bounce and hit the inside pole.
So just getting the paddle a little bit too flat which means that she can't get that good grip on the exit there. So she's
that's forced her out of the medals.
Yeah, forced her out of the medals, and I think she's getting a little bit tired down this bottom section. So you want to maintain that good vertical paddle position in order to keep the contact on the blade the whole way to the bottom. But really good start to the season as well from Katerina here.
So for the last two girls to go, there are opportunities, aren't there? No one's really put forward the dream run.
Yeah, well, Karina's, you know, she's got 4 seconds of penalty, so, you know, a clean run and not too many time losses on those big sections, and we could see a new winner. What are we, a 107 plus 4, so 111.03 is currently Karina Kleij in first position, so she's guaranteed a medal, I think, with 2 to go.
Exactly.
Still all to play for.
And here we go, Li Lu. I can't say I've actually seen much of her paddling, but she did pick up the silver medal in Penrith at the under-23 Worlds.
Well, that's
see if she can continue that form.
She's actually going to be competing in Tachin. She's going to be competing also in Prague. The best World Cup results she had in 2012. She was in Pole. She came 18th. 2000, also 12 in La Cédagelle. She came 18th. 40 in this year World Championships.
Great start to this top section by Li Lu. Just really small, diminutive paddler, but she's stayed on top the whole way through that top section.
Kept the boat running around the turn. Let's check out this split time as we go past here. I think she'll be a bit down, but still, you know, 1.42, that's nothing here. See how she goes dropping down into Big Bend, sets the boat up.
Great.
And textbook, look at that. You want to learn how to do that? Watch that again.
Well, she's only 22 years,
the day.
Been on the scene for quite a while.
Keep the boat nice and dry. You can see if they are nice and dry. If you see the front get buried and water splashing on the paddler, they've obviously had a bit of a slow. That's hitting the brakes really in our sport, and she's managed to stay on top nice and dry.
Yeah, she's at the bottom of the stopper there, but holds the boat a little bit low into the up there, but she's in and out now, and I think she could be challenging the split time.
Yeah, here we go. Ahead by 0.2, so a good bottom section, and we could have a new winner in place.
She goes.
A little bit slow.
I think she's caught a touch up there as well.
She's dropping in sideways here, but yeah, good eyes, Will.
But there is still some time.
You can see here the athlete's getting tired. Li Lu looks like she's not getting as far on each stroke, but nicely ducked off that flush gate.
All to go for time is 111, so 5 seconds to go.
Close.
Here we go. I think we're going to have a new leader.
She's going to do it.
Great work by Li Lu. 0.39 in front.
Lily is going to take her skills back. What she's going to do after this is quite interesting, because they go, as I say, to the next 2 meets. Then she goes back home to China, and then she prepares for the Asian Games. So she's got 2 months preparing. In the Asian Games, they do a flat water slalom.
Wow.
So no more rivers for the next couple of months, so that's her priority.
Well, I think from watching that performance there, you know, she's got some grit, she's got some determination, and definitely she's got some skills. She showed on that Big Bend drop exactly how to do it. That's the best example of that cross there that we've seen today.
Last but not least,
Jessica Fox, here we go.
So Jess, one of the smoothest, stylish paddlers on the scene at the moment.
Works with her mother, Miriam Fox, as her coach, so they've got obviously a close relationship, but they work really well together, and you might even be lucky enough to hear Miriam cheering around as she runs around the inside bank with Jess. She's got a very distinctive voice.
Yeah, just careful. It is a piercing voice, so.
And Jess is she's a great performer in the moment. She picked up the silver medal here in London and the London Olympics. She's been under 23 world champion. She's been a junior world champion.
And in touch, 1.07 seconds down, but it's an early split, and there's plenty to make up in later in the course.
Oh, and that's very nicely done there as well. Straight across and in there.
Maybe not quite as good as Li Lu, but still definitely passable, and should be looking to make up a little bit more time down the bottom where Li Lu had a few mistakes.
And you'll see Jess, she's got a very high rating. She's been working a lot on keeping the boat up nice and light with really light strokes. And she's obviously perfected that over the winter months in Australia.
Well, she came third in the sprint trials over 200 metres. Yeah,
she's pretty handy in any form of kayak, I think. She's got a bit wet there in the oval, and we'll see the split time here. I think she's dropped back a bit. So it's really up to this final manoeuvre to see if Jess can get on the podium and steal that top spot from Li Lu.
Well, there's not much time spared. 1:12 for bronze position.
So Li Lu had a touch on that last up right there, and that's a great cross by Jess, so she's made up a bit of time, so this could be close.
Jess had a big error there in her semi-final and still went on to post the fastest time, so if she finishes like she did in her semi, we could be looking at the new winner coming down to cross the line.
1:10.64 go. It's going to be close.
I think she's going to do it. Oh, not quite. Wow.
Look at Li Lu's elation with her first World Cup win.
So congratulations to Li Lu. She's had a great start to the season, but great work by Jess Fox as well. So bronze medal for Jess. She just missed out in the C1 yesterday, but she'll be absolutely stoked with that performance.
So our podium is Li Lu in gold with a time of 1:10, Karina Kleij and then Jessica Fox.
So you probably wouldn't have bet on this Li Lu or Luli, as some people call her.
Yeah, she's been a bit of a dark horse now. Well, for me anyway.
I say 2000 last season they didn't prepare in Europe because they had the Chinese championships where she came third, and then 2 events in 2012 where she made the semi-finals, and then that's in Prague.
Yeah, and well, she had a silver medal in Penrith at the under-23 World Championships earlier this year. So,
but that's a great start to the season for Li Lu. First World Cup. She didn't get to compete in the European Championships last weekend, obviously being from China. So this is her first race, and she's come out and proven that that she's up there with the world's best by taking out today's event.
Well, apparently there were, sorry, confirmation of official results. It's Li Lu from China takes the gold medal, Karina KUHNLE from Austria takes the silver, Jessica Fox for Australia takes the bronze medal, with big names down there, DUKATOVA, Schornberg, Sarah Grant, great 6th position, very close racing.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. It's been good from the girls this weekend. They are really good all weekend.
Well, we've got a couple of seconds off. Robin, ex-Olympian, hopefully future Olympian for yourself. How's your weekend?
Yeah, good start in the qualification in C1. Really happy with how I was progressing there mentally, really, like just being able to keep the focus. And I thought me and Ethan Hodson in the C2 did quite well in our first run. Just one touch and a little bit of a time loss on the bottom drop, which unfortunately just pushed us out. It was such a good field in the C2 this year, so it was a good learning experience, and we're really looking forward to getting across the Tartan and having a bit of fun in the sun over there.
Absolutely. And Will, yourself?
My weekend was all right. I have to remember now. I've got to think what I did. My first run in quals it was all right actually. I was clean. Second run I had a few touches, and then in the semi-final I had a few touches as well, so finished well down the order, but yeah, all in all I can't complain. Still having fun, still enjoying it, so try and improve for next weekend in Tartan.
Yeah, it's a real building year this year, so we're 2 years out from the Olympics now, so it's trying to shore up our technique and our mental approach, so that next year it's just a dress rehearsal for 2016.
And this year you'll be competing, as you mentioned, in the next 2 World Cups. Are you coming over in August?
I'm not. I'm heading back to Australia after the Prague World Cup. I've got some uni commitments I've got to go and attend to, but then I'll fly from Australia straight to America for the Worlds in September.